Hello, trail travelers. It is Carrie and Katerina, and we got Dana and Philip behind us over there. And we are kind of northwest of Divide, Colorado. And if you take this road a little bit further, you're going to reach the gulches. That's Metberry, Longwater, and Hackett Gulch, or right up the street. We are going to do this. This is Forest Road 202. Nobody has been on this road since it snowed, so we are going to be breaking some trail, and we're going to see how this goes. Maybe we won't make it very far. Maybe we will. Let's go give it a try. I absolutely love breaking trail after a snow. Being the first people to lay down some tire tracks, always a blast. Now this is Forest Road 202, and we're going to take this to hopefully 220 and see how that goes, and then come back on a different road. So essentially this is going to be like the fourth gulch, but we'll see. I've never taken this, even though we've been in this area a bunch of times, and we are just going to take it easy because you never know what kind of deep snowdrift we're going to run into. So we're keeping some distance between the vehicles in case I get stuck and Phil and Dana need to pull us out. So we're coming up on the first waypoint here, just a private road, and so far so good. Now, one thing about this is it is kind of narrow in a few spots. Not major pinstripe warning, but there's definitely a few narrow spots in here. And the one thing about being the first people on a trail is you know there's nobody in front of you that's going to be heading your direction. So that's kind of a win. Okay, well, we're doing a steep descent here. There's plenty of snow, but there's also some dirt here. We're about 23 degrees heading down, so it is kind of steep, but there's no real roll going on, not much more than about 10 degrees. So we're doing pretty good there. It's gonna get a little tippy as I come off this ledge here. And just gonna make the turn to stay on the trail. But I feel like lots of traction. It's not slippery like ice. Okay, we're going to take the more difficult line going down here, but because it's a bunch of ledges, it should give us on and off traction, versus the other section was steeper and smoother. There may not have been as much opportunity for to slow down or stop if we needed to. This rocky stuff here is going to hold us pretty good. Trails Off-Road rates Forest Road 202 as a 4 mandatory, 4 optional. And this is the more difficult section here, called the Rocky Chutes. So this is some nice little ledges that you're going to have to negotiate, but it's kind of fun in the snow.
one inch at the same time, it's really ugly.
Amen, brother. Nice and safe. Damn, I love breaking trail.
Now I get black bait.
Okay.
Hold that. Oh no, I got it.
I'm like, do I need to get into gear real quick?
You're good. Yep. You're good.
Okay, Phil, you can come down to the 202 sign.
For real?
You're on camera, you can go all the way down.
Okay, we have been on Forest Road 202 up to this point. We've had a lot of fun. We were breaking trail. Really good time coming through here. Now we are on, this is 220, and there's tire tracks going all the way in. Now, according to Trails Off-Road, this is one of their scout routes, which you can find if you're an all-access member. And this is not all mapped out by them yet, but they do say that this is severe or very difficult. But I guess we're gonna go find out. So we'll see how it goes. But we're gonna go hit Forest Road 220. As we go through the aspen grove here, got a few patches of deeper snow. But as you can see, there's tire tracks in front of us. So either some people have recently been on here, or maybe there's even people in front of us. We don't know. Unlike getting here on 202, we were the first people on that trail. So this is definitely a little more well-traveled than the last one. This section on both sides of us, you can see a lot of this burn area. This is still remnants from the Hayman fire. If you don't know about that, I'll put a link in the description where you can read more about the Hayman fire, but it was pretty devastating, and if I remember right, it was about 20 years ago. Quite significant damage through this area. And there's a couple trails, the gulches, as well as this trail where we are driving through the fire damage. So kind of interesting to see how long it takes for stuff to grow back. Okay, well, this seems to be a little tricky spot here, especially in the snow, but we're gonna try and just cruise right up it.
That was quite aggressive.
As long as it looked good.
Y'all know I love my whatever these things are, Cooper STT Pros, but they are not great in the wintertime.
Now this is the end of the official trail here, and while I don't know exactly why, I believe it is because this is the end of the county line, and you can't go past the county line on the gulch trails either. So I'm just going to go up to the top here and take a quick look, but I'm pretty sure that is the situation here, is that we're now at the county line and we're going, we can't go any further than this. So we're going to have to turn around and start heading back. Okay, this is the end of Forest Road 220. Yes, you can keep going technically, but there's the county line that you're not supposed to go past. So we're turning around and we're gonna head back out. It's gonna be a little sketchy because we got sideways a couple times coming up here. So we're gonna have some fun going out, but time to head back out and get back to the main road. Now from this angle, you can see that Phil's driver's side rear tire is off the trail, and it's in the air. It's not on anything. The other 3 tires are technically on the trail. Now, every time he would hit the gas, the back end would slide a little bit more. And so it was time to do something and start recovery. Now look around. There's nothing that you can winch off of here. You have very, very old burned trees, you have old burned stumps, and you have some new growth. Nothing that you can actually winch off of. So trying to winch him, not part of the equation, and I can't get past him to winch him from the front. And there's no way I can winch him back onto the trail because of the angle. So we pulled out our MaxTrax traction boards and did a little digging, got under the tires, and after about 5 tries of only moving a few feet at a time, we were able to get him back up onto the trail and get going again. But this is one of those times where traction boards can really save your butt. A lot of people don't like them or say they're not worthwhile, but we have used traction boards a handful of times with really good results. It's knowing when to use them and how to use them. You don't just shove them under a tire. You got to dig it out. You got to get flat. You can't just expect to climb up on top of them. So knowing how to use them, we're able to get Phil back on the road and continue our adventure today. Now that it's my turn to go through this, I just gave it some gas and went for it. I was definitely a little sketched that I would end up in the same predicament, but I managed to get right through it. Now, maybe that's a difference in tires. Phil's running the SST Pros. I'm running the Nito Trail Grapplers. I don't know, but I made it through it, and I'm glad I did. Now, coming up, this was easily the hardest obstacle on the trail, or maybe not the hardest, but definitely the sketchiest coming up, because you're on these rocks and it's slick and you're off camber. Yeah, it's a little sketchy. And coming down, definitely got your nerves going. So listen in as Katerina spots me over the obstacle.
Passenger, back up a little bit and go passenger. Back up, Gary. And passenger. Passenger. Okay, hold on. Stop, please. Now you're too far away, passenger. Now you have to be really careful. Go straight, slow. Straight. Straight. Keep going. Now turn driver. Now keep forward. Keep going. Keep going, I will catch you. It's very slick over here. Where we got sideways.
Yep, again. Wait.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Hey, you can't park there. We did some sliding going down this hill. Coming up it, I decided to give it some gas because Philip and Dana kind of got hung up on it. And kind of misjudged that a little bit and smacked the rear tire, but all was good. One thing about this road is it is very narrow, and there is a major pinstripe warning here. We are definitely taking some scratches along the way. It is just too narrow for us to work through without some pinstripes. So there shall be some buffing in my future, for sure. Well, that was Forest Road 220. What'd you think, Phil?
It reminds me of driving my Lotus in like a wet road or snow. It's like, don't do it. Just
There was a couple spots that were a little slick.
yeah. And my back end with all of our recovery gear, 37-inch tire, bumper mounted, so it sticks out maybe a little bit more. Steel bumper. It like that back end, even though it is full-time four-wheel drive, and I was in poor low, just every time we were off camber, my butt would just slide downhill,
wiggle.
and so then we'd goose it, and most of the time there were 3 or 4 times we were sideways and I goosed it and we got out of it just fine. But that one where we had to pull out the traction boards, which, by the way, I'm gonna have to apologize to the entire internet for making fun of traction boards. They're not completely useless. And in the Hayman Burn area, and if you're not from Colorado, this whole area, with the exception of where we're standing right now, but this whole area was lit on fire. And so it is not safe to just pull a winch line and your tree saver and throw it up on a tree, because chances are that thing's coming out of the ground.
Dead trees, burnt stumps, and new trees. There's not old trees up there. So if you're stuck, it's going to get ugly, which is why, we would normally have, somewhere else we would carry our land anchor, but we've just never used it in Colorado.
Oh, good luck getting it into the land right now.
Right. I mean, it's frozen solid.
6 inches, if you can get past the first 6 inches, then you're great. We don't get too deep, but that first 3 to 6 inches is going to be tough.
But we got him out and we got through it. We got sideways a few times, a lot of fun. And now we're going to continue our loop out of here on Sportsman Road. A lot of people have already been on here. There's tons of tracks on here. This is only rated a 3 to begin with. It's just a dirt road. So we're gonna loop our way out of here because I don't really want to go back the way we came. There's a couple spots that were a little if.
It was a long drive.
It was a long drive. And so we're gonna work our way out and see what the rest of Sportsman Road is gonna be like today. We're working our way towards the end of Sportsman Road, and we ran into some deep snow. Didn't really stop us, but it did get a little tricky going through it. This was our winter adventure today outside of Colorado Springs, outside of Divide or Woodland Park, all those places. We did Forest Road 202 to Forest Road 220, which was a little sketchy. Then back to Sportsman Road, and now we are heading back to Colorado Springs to go get some dinner. Thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it. For all the guys out there and gals, I know there's 10% of the women watch this. We do have memberships available now if you want to help support the channel. No big deal if you don't, but we do appreciate it because it helps us, do what we love doing and hopefully what you enjoy watching. So thanks for everybody out there. From Katarina and myself, be safe out there. We'll see you on the trails.